few years ago, I worked with a brilliant project manager named Sanjay. He ran a tight ship, met every deadline, and seemed to be doing everything right as a leader. But his team was falling apart. In less than a year, 4 talented people quit. The rest seemed unmotivated and disengaged. When I dug deeper, I discovered the problem: Sanjay's feedback style. He'd say things like, "Good job on the presentation. This report needs more work. Do better next time." Sounds familiar? This vague, generic feedback is the biggest mistake leaders make, and it's silently destroying your team's motivation. Here's why generic feedback is so harmful. It gives people no clear direction on what to keep doing or how to improve. It feels lazy and insincere, that you couldn't be bothered to pay attention. It misses the chance to reinforce specific behaviors you want to see more of. It creates uncertainty about what success actually looks like. I once received feedback that my workshop needed more energy. What does that even mean? Should I talk faster? Louder? Add more activities? Without specifics, I had no idea how to improve. So, what does effective feedback look like? I use a simple framework. I call SIMPLE feedback. S, specific. Point to exact behaviors or outcomes. I, immediate. Give feedback close to it when it happened. M, meaningful. Connect to goals that the person cares about. P, personalized. Tailor to their unique strengths and needs. L, learning focused. Emphasize growth over judgment. E, executable. Make sure they can act on your feedback. Let me show you how this works in real life. Instead of "great presentation," try "your presentation was really effective because you used customer stories to illustrate each point, and you directly addressed the budget concerns the VP raised yesterday." This approach helped us get approval for the next phase. Instead of "this report needs work," try "the analysis in the financial section would be stronger if it included year-over-year comparisons." Adding that data would help the leadership team make better decisions about resource allocation. See the difference? The improved feedback is focused on specific actions, clear about the impact, actionable, connected to outcomes that matter. Another key mistake is not balancing positive and constructive feedback. Research shows that the ideal ratio is about 5:1. 5 specific positive observations for every single suggestion of improvement. This doesn't mean making up praise. It means being attentive enough to catch people doing things right, and specific enough in your recognition that it reinforces key positive behaviors. For example, in a team meeting, you might say, "Anika, I appreciated how you stepped in to clarify the client requirements when there was confusion earlier. That helped us get back on track quickly." This approach isn't about being soft, it's about being precise. Specific recognition is actually harder to provide than general praise because it requires careful observation. When you need to have a more structured feedback conversation, especially around areas for improvement, use this simple 4-part approach. Observation. I noticed that. Impact. The effect of this was. Question. What are your thoughts on this? Plan. How might we address this going forward? This creates dialogue rather than criticism. This involves the other person in problem solving and ends with clear next steps. Let me share a simple practice that helped me develop this skill. I keep a small notebook where I jot down specific positive things I notice team members doing. This forces me to pay attention and builds a collection of observations I can draw from. Effective feedback isn't about being nice or tough. It's about being meaningful and actionable. When you replace vague feedback with specific balanced observations, you create clarity, build confidence, and unlock motivation. This week, I challenge you to upgrade just one piece of feedback. Take something you might normally say generally and make it specific, immediate, and actionable. What feedback approaches have worked well for you? Share your experiences in the comments.